Welcome to the Bible
with Brad Michael,
Arthur Speaker Pastor.
Challenging changing lives. Brad's Christian Perspective. Brad Michael.
Today, you may be faced with several different kinds of tasks to overcome. Some more difficult than others, some physical and some spiritual, while some mental and some emotional. But for sure, some task of some sort is before you. Every task has its own little special way of testing and trying you. Matter of fact, you already may be feeling stressed, tired, worn out, fatigued, due to circumstances at hand. You may be to the point of throwing in the white towel, to the point of just giving up, or maybe you are at the point that all hope seems gone. The more you try, the worse things get. The worse things get, the more you realize you cannot handle all the pressures of life. May I ask you to give me your undivided attention just for a few minutes? I'm not going to speak to you from an elevated position at all. I'm going to speak to you as a man that has been there, a man that has experienced exactly what I have just spoken about to you. Yes, just a few years ago, I was the one that was struggling in life. Every day I was weakening from the dealing of the task and the difficulties that life was throwing my way. Every day became a challenge that was literally plummeting me to my knees in despair. Like I said previously, I had become tired, I was fatigued, I had lost hope and reason to go on, for I had now come to the realization I could not help myself overcome all the difficulties of life. I must be honest with you, it was very humbling. It was an experience that I'd never experienced before, but I had to admit I needed help. Then it happened. I was sitting in my study office reading scripture when I turned to a passage that simply said, "The things which are impossible with men are possible with God." Like I normally do, I began to look up and seek reference. I then found myself in the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 5, reading the words of Jesus, "For without me, you can do nothing." I began to ponder this thought right then and there. I am trying on my own strength and my own power and my own abilities to overcome these difficulties in life. Or am I depending upon the strength and the power of Almighty God? Well, it didn't take me long to conclude that though I was saved and serving in a pastoral position, that I indeed was trying to manage in life according to my own strengths and my own ability. I guess you could say the good Lord and I had a come to Jesus kind of meeting. A meeting where the words that I found written in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13, where they were no longer just words, but were words of trust and dependency upon God. Listen as I quote, "I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me." A meeting where the words of Romans chapter 8 and verse 31 assured me victory was mine. For if God be for me, who can stand against me? A meeting where the words of the psalmist in Psalms chapter 46 became a reality in my life. For God had become my refuge, my strength, my very present help in times of trouble. A meeting where I came to the understanding of the words found in Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5, that God would never leave me nor forsake me. I can honestly say that from that point in my life, my struggles and difficulties did not vanish away, but the strength and power I found within Almighty God had made it possible for me to bear and walk through every difficult situation that there came my way. You, right now where you are, may be experiencing the life I once lived. You are struggling and about to the point of giving up. Can I beg you to hold on? Can I beg you to start trusting in God's power and God's strength and stop relying on your own ability? Right now, I feel God is speaking directly to you, asking you to have a little come to Jesus meeting where you too can learn to trust, depend, and have victory in Him. I pray this opportunity not pass you by. God is waiting with His hand stretched. Will you today take Him by the hand and let Him pick you up, dust you off, and strengthen you, giving you reason to go on? God did it for me, so I know He will do it for you. God bless, and never forget that you can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth you.